One of the most important things about losing weight fast is the ability to recover fast, efficiently, and well. And this is what's going to be keeping you from burning out or just hurting yourself. So while losing my first 100 pounds, I was doing cardio up to an hour twice a day and then working out 3 times a day. So being able to recover well just for the next day to be able to go again was one of my biggest priorities. So I tried a lot of things to stay recovered, and so we're going to be doing a tier list today on things that I tried and or researched. We're going to be grading them all the way from God tier, which is the absolute apex of recovery and what most people should focus on, all the way down to trash tier, which is where they belong. Starting off with cupping therapy. Cupping therapy is known to increase blood flow to the area, but just standard cupping itself doesn't really have all that many proven benefits. So cupping itself is going to go into C tier. And then active cupping. So active cupping is when they will, let's say, put a cupping on a joint or something that you can then move. And this will not only increase the blood flow, but it will actually create that fascial release, letting your muscles grow and heal at a faster rate. As you can see, I have some all over the place. And this is where it gets a little bit interesting because I do very strongly believe that active cupping is better than just normal cupping. So you know what, we're gonna put cupping down into D tier and put active cupping into C because there are just better things that you could be doing. And then moving on to BPC 157, the current hot topic. So BPC 157 is a synthetic peptide that has shown its ability to be able to repair different tissues within the body. And it reduces the inflammation, which will help accelerate in the recovery of musculoskeletal injuries. So, and for this reason, I mean, I've taken it a bunch of times, I absolutely swear by it, and we're gonna slap this into A tier. Moving on to compression clothing. That's a good one. Compression clothing will enhance the blood flow to whatever piece that it is applied to, and this can be used in either sleeve form or they use them in the hospital a lot for, let's say, diabetes patients or people that have a severe edema in their external limbs. And because that it's so widely used, because that there's so much research on it, and it's just proven to be one of the most elite ways to increase blood flows without introducing any new compounds into the body, I'm gonna have to put compression straight into S tier. And not only does it help with recovery, but I strongly believe that it also helps with injury prevention just by the fact that if you're wearing compression clothing, chances are that part of your body is going to be warmer and thus reducing the risk of strain on your tendons, ligaments, and muscles. And next up, we're gonna be talking about creatine gummies. Now, creatine gummies is just one of those things that every athlete should probably be using because it's going to help with muscle growth, it's going to help with strength, it's going to help with your performance, but most importantly, and in this scenario, your recovery. And the fact that it's going to be introducing new water into your muscles will just help them recover faster and prevent injury. And for this reason, and because the Swoly ones are absolutely delicious, code Goliath if you guys decide to order some, I'm gonna be slapping creatine gummies directly into A tier. Next up, we're going to be talking about massage guns. This is a massage gun, it's called the D6 Pro. It was sent to me by Bob and Brad, which are, as they call themselves on YouTube, the most famous physiotherapists in the world, which by their subscriber count is probably true. Now, when they first sent me this, I was very skeptical because I don't know if you guys have ordered massage guns on Amazon, but chances are they're usually these steaming pieces of crap and they break either within a week or you put just a tiny little bit too much strength and they just stop working. This was not the case. I'm pretty sure this one retails for about $240 and it has the same strength as the $600 Theragun, which is absolutely ridiculous. The build quality is fantastic. It comes with a bunch of different attachments so that you can target whichever muscles or area that you're trying to massage very specifically. Even though my favorite is this fun little cushion one, which helps create all the pressure wherever you're applying it, except it doesn't actually give the punch, which is a lot less painful. And because I do have some torn tissues within my forearm, it's helped me heal quite a bit. I use this all the time. I absolutely swear by it. The battery lasts forever. I mean, I haven't even charged it once since I got it yet. It's about to die now, but it just goes to show that this is just a fantastic item. I would recommend it. I'm gonna put a link to it in the bottom. Yes, this is absolutely fantastic. And because of this, ooh, that's a tough one. Do I put this in? Yeah, I'm gonna have to put this one in A tier. The only thing that would put this in S tier is if it was handled by a professional, in which case they would know how to target your, obviously, areas better. But for a self-implemented device, this is A tier, absolutely. And next up, we're going to talk about ear candling, which is essentially when they pour hot wax down your ear and it's supposed to remove toxins. I feel like there's very little scientific evidence supporting this, and honestly, the idea of hot wax going into my ear canal and potentially irritating my eardrum, I'm sorry, trash tier. Nope. You know what? Next up, we're actually going to combine the EMS and the TENS unit because they do very similar things. These are units that you will put little electrodes next to the muscles that you want to activate. And I know both of these have different mechanisms of action, but they sort of do the same thing where they will actually make your muscle contract. I want to say involuntary because you're not doing it, it's the actual unit doing it itself. It's helped in the sense that if I had a muscle that was really sore, like especially my traps, I would put it on my traps for a bit and I would almost get a pump from using it. But in terms of how often would I actually recommend using it, not so much, because it can actually leave you pretty sore for the next day. For that reason, I'm gonna put the EMS, which is a little bit of a more scientific backed device, into B tier and the TENS unit into C tier. And next up, we're gonna talk about creatine powder. Now, creatine powder and creatine gummies are obviously pretty much the same thing, it's the same compound. I put the creatine gummies in A tier because creatine is an absolute essential thing that every athlete should be using, but I'm actually going to put normal creatine powder into B tier because it sucks. It sucks to ingest. I don't know if you've ever had to take creatine, it's a chore. And ever since I've had to take creatine gummies, I haven't missed a dose in about, what, 4 to 5 months now, which consistency in creatine is very important. And so for that case, that's why I'm gonna put it lower than the gummies itself. Next up, we're gonna talk about foam rolling. I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. I'm gonna put foam rolling in S tier. The reason why, because of how cost effective it is, because of the benefits you get. I foam roll every single night before I go to bed, without question. It helps relieve the pressure on my back. And after the intensity that I'm putting in the gym right now to keep losing all this weight to go to my bodybuilding show, I need my back to be okay. And I feel as though it's helped me prevent from injuries. I feel amazing. And after you foam roll for a while, you feel like you're just laying on a cloud, which is amazing and helps you fall asleep faster. Bringing us into the warm packs. Warm packs can help blood flow, obviously get to a region. It will have its benefits. The one thing I'm scared of is if you have something that's angry, by adding heat to it, you can potentially make it angrier. But not only that, after you take it off, if you take it off and then you don't do your workout right away, that warmth is just gonna go away and then it was basically useless time. And for that reason, I'm going to put warmth pack into D tier. Hydration. I'm pretty sure for a while I was known on the internet as the 12-liter guy, so I'm just gonna slap hydration into God tier. So everything from temperature regulation to waste management and pretty much every single physical function your body could ever do. So yeah, God tier it is. And next up is the ion feet bath. These, you put your feet in a little tub thing, electricity goes through in this salt water. The water's supposed to turn a different color if the toxins are coming out of your feet, but it's been pretty much debunked, shown that it's just the actual salt chemical reaction in the water with the electricity that turns the water yellowish brown. So completely debunked, trash tier that goes. Going into massage therapy, A tier, pretty basic. If you go to a registered massage therapist, it can help with either just the relaxation effect if you're starting to burn out mentally, or if you have something that hurts, they'll be able to work in that muscle properly if they're obviously a good massage therapist, which is very important. It will improve circulation in your body, which obviously leads to more recovery. Nobody hates massages. I'm gonna put it in A tier. Coming up to nutrition, or in this case, I'm gonna say proper nutrition, obvious S tier. You are what you eat. A balanced diet, a well-balanced diet will help reduce inflammation. It will, oh God, do I really need to explain why nutrition is S tier? You know what, I'm not going to, because I feel like we should know this, but from everything from your body functions to energy replenishment, to reduce inflammation, to joint health, to, God, bone health, blood health, I'm done. Passive resting. I'm gonna put passive resting into D tier because passive resting would essentially be taking the day off completely, just sitting around doing nothing. I honestly think that it's not very useful. I would much rather have an active rest day over a passive rest day, which would be going for a walk, getting the blood flowing by some means. It would help tremendously more than just passively resting, doing absolutely nothing. Especially if you sit around for too long, your back's gonna start hurting, especially if you're fat, you know what that's like, so D tier. Coming into active resting. I'm gonna slap active resting into B. Why? Because it's one of those things everybody should be doing regardless. You need days off. That has been proven. My 7 days a week of training wasn't inherently intelligent. I was just doing it to burn more calories, but I did burn out towards the end. When you have this buildup of inflammation in your body from working out way too hard and doing way too much cardio, taking that time to rest will actually help drop pounds on the scale. I remember one of the biggest weight drops that I had, it was about 2.7 pounds in one day, happened after a rest day, which I didn't understand at first until now. And next up, we're going to go with sleep aids. I'm gonna slap sleep aids into a B. I'm gonna put it into B because anything that helps sleep will be incredibly important. It's just important not to become dependent on them. Like if you get to a point where you can't sleep without taking your melatonin at night, that's pretty horrible. But if they help, it's good. Just don't get addicted. Coming into passive stretching, I'm gonna put this into C tier simply because it doesn't necessarily help and it can actually lead to overstretching and some injuries, especially if you're stretching directly from cold. HGH, ooh, that's a good one. You know what, I'm gonna have to put HGH directly into S tier. A little bit of a controversial one there. Human growth hormone plays a part in every single action of tissue cell regeneration. It'll help in muscle growth and supporting muscle growth. And well, it's one of those god hormones that's just amazing. The reason why it's in S tier and not in god tier is because of I'm not going to talk about it too much. It is very ethically questionable. It's illegal to get in most circumstances. And the only reason you should be doing this is if you have a lack of it causing you severe health consequences. And then we're going to have sleep. This one's pretty easy. While I was having a stint where I was having a lot of trouble sleeping, somebody wrote this Instagram comment that I read and I was like, wow, that is perfectly said. And the person said, if you could put sleep in a pill, it would be the most illegal drug known to man because the health benefits are uncomparable to absolutely anything else. If you sleep properly, you will recover better, you will grow muscle faster, you will live better. It is quite simple. Sleep, which is why sleep is the only thing that I would ever put into God tier. Quite simple. And that's why the sleep aids were in B tier instead of being some lower tiers, because if they can help you sleep, that's the best. Another reason why HGH is actually in S tier over here is simply because everybody that's ever taken SGH or SGH secretagogues have noticed a very significant level of improved sleep quality, which again, being God tier, anything that helps that will automatically get a bump. Next up, we're going to talk about active stretching or dynamic stretching. I'm going to put this into B. It's better than passive stretching. This would be like more active movements, getting your whole body warmed up instead of just a singular muscle, which I would obviously recommend before doing any sort of workout. And then we're going to go into IGF-1, L, or 3, or insulin-like growth factor. IGF is very essential in the healing process and the muscle recovery process. I'm going to, as much as I love IGF and it's helped me keep a lot of muscle while I was losing fat, I'm going to put this in B simply because I believe there are better peptides to help you recover. Although I still, this is hard. It's either A or B. I wish I had a B plus or something, but you know what? I'm gonna put it into B simply because TB500 is coming after next, which helps with wound healing, tissue repair, and it's helped to help with angiogenesis, which is the creation of new blood pathways, and reduce quite a bit of inflammation, helping with healing of tendons and ligaments, which is why this is going to go into A tier. I hate putting IGF there, but it's amazing at other things, but I would put it B tier for this. I hope people don't get mad at me for this one. And next up, we're going to have the TB500 plus BPC17 stack. This is going to be S tier, because if you put those two together, I mean, it's been referred to as the Wolverine stack. Wolverine gets cut somewhere, he heals within seconds. That's essentially what this has done. I've taken these before, and after ripping some pretty hefty tissue within my forearms and my shoulders, this stuff got me back into the gym within weeks. And then coming up with the body vibration, you know those plates where you kind of just stand on them and your whole body just shakes, or those belts in the 70s that would go around. Yeah, I'm gonna put that into D tier. I mean, it would technically help promote blood flow just by moving things around, but I don't really see it being very useful. And then tesamorelin, ooh, you know what? This is a doozy again. You know what? I'm gonna put this into S tier, simply because it helps promote your own body create more of its endogenous growth hormone. In fact, it helps you sleep, and I've proven this. I checked my sleep quality metrics before and after using tesamorelin, and my deep sleep went from about 20 minutes a night to an hour and a half to 2 hours, which is a substantial change. Which is why I'm gonna put it in S tier. I mean, I wake up nowadays, I'm feeling ready to go, which is absolutely ridiculous because I'm a horrible sleeper. I sleep usually 4 hours, 5 hours a night maybe, and with this stuff now, I'm up to like 6 or 7. And then we're going to go to warming up, bringing us to yoga. I wouldn't necessarily place this for recovery, because if you're a big dude or a big girl and you do yoga, you are sweating, you are in pain. I can definitely see its long-term benefits, but as a one-off, I would put it C tier. If you're doing this regularly for mobility, I would put it into B tier. And then over-the-counter pain medication, so that's your ibuprofen, Tylenol, all those, that weird wooden dude. All those I'd probably put into D tier, because of the simple fact that, yes, they are good for reducing inflammation, which will obviously help with some healing in some cases, but it has some gnarly side effects if used too much. Ibuprofen especially can lead to, or any non-steroidal anti-inflammatories, can really, really mess up your gut health. Protein powder obviously is gonna slap that one into A tier. It's one of those things where muscle recovery is very dependent on having enough protein to be used or to be synthesized within your body. So protein powder, ghost, still waiting on you guys. And then I'm gonna go to physiotherapists. Now, usually I would put physiotherapists into A tier, but if you have a very, very good physiotherapist, I would put that into S tier, because a good physiotherapist will be able to identify problems within your muscles, within your movements, and find ways to help you fix them, find muscle imbalances, and just get you rolling on track. It's just, if you don't follow your physiotherapist's advice, if you don't do the exercises, might as well put them into trash tier, because you're wasting your money. But if you're doing the exercises and you're following their advice, easy, easy, easy S tier. Christian, on the other hand, has saved my ass more times than I can count. I'm gonna slap him into God tier. And that's it for the recovery tier list. Hope you guys enjoy this. If you would like for me to do a one on maybe fad diets, that's what I'm thinking of the most, please like, comment, and subscribe. That would mean the absolute world. You guys have a great day.